Hello everyone. In today's video I split it for 10 chapters for the 10 decks covering all win condition possible, having only Hero Knight in every single deck, and even some decks you can play with it without the Hero Knight. And you not need to watch everything, just jump for the deck or match you like. No need to watch everything, just pick your style and enjoy.
Since I Spirit and Cannon get a lot of nerfs through the season, and the Evo Cannon get a nerf in the previous season, we don't have a lot of options to play with cycle decks, if that is your type, but this deck somehow get a comeback after Clash Royale buff the Demolisher. A lot of pro players like Sandbox or Ku or Mohamed Light Riley get top 1 through the season with it, so it's look like one of the best Daryl decks if it's not the best. You can change Evo Tesla to Evo Cannon if you're like struggling against Golem or Electro Giant or something like that, because Cannon have a higher DPS than Tesla, but you will never be able to like beat Balloon or Lava if you don't have Tesla. Even with Tesla it's not simple, but if you played good with your Psycho and know when to attack and when to defend, you will be able to defend the Lava and Loom because you have a really fast cycle. About the Logbait matches is not impossible if you like get a positive trade against Wall Breaker and block the bridge for countering the Goblin Barrel with only Evo Snowball or making the Fire Spirit trick, but still hard, and if you are not good enough with that you might lose that. This deck is really broken and recommended by a lot of players, and this might be the best Daryl deck through the season and maybe the next one. So it's really good option to max it if you like free to play players and get the Hero Knight on that box.
For the next deck we also have a Daryl deck, but it's more like Magic Archer and Demolisher, because most likely you will not get damage from Daryl himself, you will get damage from the support cards, and your opponent will not struggle against defend Daryl. He will struggle against defend Daryl Nado combo and Demolisher Magic Archer. So this deck is so fun to play and it's really broken. It might not be the best Daryl deck, because if you want to get an easy deck, and by the way I will make a video about how to make a deck in the future, like 4 days or something like that, you will get so hard to defend some kind of matches or like break through, because you don't have like the broken combo with Evo Snowball or the normal Snowball. So always if you want an easy deck, you will need to have small spell and big spell, but this deck work right now really well, and a lot of players testing it and it's work pretty good with them. You can change HUD for the Bump Tower and take like the control of the match, but Bump Tower is much easier to play, since like you not need a weird placement to play with, and Bump Tower can defend himself by himself, not like the HUD. You need to defend the Evo Battle Ram, for example, with something else. So if you like Bump Tower you can use it, if you like HUD you can use it, but I prefer Bump Tower in this deck, since you don't have the good DPS and HUD get a lot of nerf, and also the bump of the Bump Tower, it's really useful sometimes, and also a full counter by Hog Rider. No matter what he played, like Earthquake or a Fireball, he still fully counter it if you have the King Tower activation. Magic Archer was dead for many seasons, but this season after the Demolisher buff, Hero Knight came to the game and Evo there get a buff, and Evo skill is kinda back because people are using it, because a lot of other Evos are really bad right now. I think this deck will be one of the best decks this season, and I think Rimieri, who is covering his gameplays right now, will finish really high with it.
If you are a Hog Rider lover or one-trick Hog Rider and just playing the game for fun, this might be the best Hog Rider deck in this hero meta. I don't recommend this deck because Mighty Mana was really important, same for like Cannon and something like that, but since the meta change and those cards get kinda nerfed and you can't really play easily without a champion, heroes, and for like this video is about heroes, I think this might be the best deck with Hero Knight because the only Hog Rider decks are viable right now. The classic 2.6 Hog with Mighty Man and Cracker Earthquake Cannon, and the other one is this one, and the last one which really popular, a lot of people love it, which 2.6 with Musky, Fireball and Ice Golem. 2.6 might be more strong than this, but Earthquake is really important in Hog these days with a lot of building meta. You can't change the Earthquake for Lighting if you like facing beatdown deck, but in the meta, Earthquake is the most common spell with Hog Rider. The Hero Knight can work really good with Hog decks if your opponent doesn't have building, so in some point like in Double on Trouble, if you have the opportunity to play Hog Rider and Hero Knight in the back of it, you can reset the cards and lead it to the Hero Knight, and your Hog will get a lot of damage. Same concept for like the graveyard, the Hog freeze decks and something like that. So this might be a really good combo, especially that Cracker, which is the best combo with Hog is in this deck. I don't think there is any other viable decks than that I mentioned, and see you in the next deck. For a long time I was having Elmet Logbait decks available in the meta. We have Hypno style, which can change for like season or to other, and we have this one with iTower, which is kinda the best Logbait deck. That is Logbait deck, not like the Hypno deck which only about spam. This Logbait deck can beat a lot of beatdown decks since Lightning is not too popular with the beatdown. A lot of people using like Fireball with RG, Earthquake with Hog, Vine with Golem, so this might be really good deck and easy one. Most likely you will get a lead in single or double, but in triple, if your opponent was good enough to make a big bushes, he will be able to break through, and in that time you need to save your Evos, which only is the Evo Dart in defense, and defend pretty well and make a wall of defense like Princess Back, Dark Goblin, and save your cards for your opponent cards. Like if your opponent, for example, having Prince or Mini P.E.K.K.A, you most likely need a gang, especially that there is a hero Mini P.E.K.K.A, and this kind of cards having bushes most of the times with giant like in front or minor back or something like that. So this deck is not that hard, or most likely depends on the match. You might struggle against cycle decks, but you can play with the other one, the old one with Evo Tesla and Evo Goblin Barrel, Electro Spirit Gang, Princess Rocket Log. That card can beat down, but you might struggle against like RG, Golem or stuff like that. So the only reason to play this that one instead of this is for beating cycle decks. As you see, Tessa is really good against hogs and other kind of decks, and Electrospin is really good for chain with combo Evo Tesla. I think there is only 3 available, as I said, which is Hypno, the iTower one, and the rocket one. With rocket might be the weakest one, but you can still play it if you like playing 1v1 and your opponent is a cycle player and you are one trick Logbait. So see you in the next deck. Okay, so here we are talking about RG. RG most likely doesn't have the best hero combo with it, because hero mask is not high DPS, so you might struggle against Electro Giant, Giant and Golem. But Hero Knight can fit if you like change it for Skeleton, Electro Spirit, or even the Ghost, but Ghost is important for like beating cycle decks. I think Hero Knight is most likely the only available one. Yeah, there is one with mini P.E.K.K.A instead of Monk or like Ghost that can work pretty well in the mid-laner decks, because there is no lava and a lot of people using Except Golem, so your Evo Hunter and Electro Spirit and the lock can work pretty well then. So which means there is only two available RG decks with heroes, which is Hero Knight instead of something in the classic RG deck, or mini P.E.K.K.A instead of the Monk deck in the classic RG1. By the way, in the top laner only decks that actually work is the one without heroes, so RG with heroes might not be the best idea, but if you want to try the broken heroes with RG, this is the top 2 best RG deck with heroes, at least for now. You can still play the classic one with like Evo Ghost Barbarian or Monk Log, but since the video is about the top 10 best decks with Hero Knight, I will mention this one. For the lovers and haters of the Xbow, we have 3.0 Xbow deck with Hero Knight. This deck is actually will be really good, and I think a lot of GOAT Xbow players will finish really high this season since Hero Knight came. If the heroes will get a nerf, but if the Evo Mask will still be broken, I don't think any good Xbow player will finish that high, especially that Hero Knight will be in a lot of decks in this kind of season. There is many versions of Xbow decks. There is the Queen one, which is my favorite. There is the Bomb one, which is the dumbest one, because it's all about your opponent. If he have a big spell, your Elixir Collector might be not really useful, but if you don't have big spell, you most likely will get the opportunity and win the game. This game has been cut from SK channel, which covering one of the best Xbow players these days, called Sorry Go Home. I don't know what his real name, against Morten with RG. A lot of people saying that this game is for RG or Xbow. In my opinion, I don't care. I hate Xbow and RG, but it can be winnable from both. Like if the RG player gets the lead, he might be able to win, and if the Xbow player defend well and cycling his firewall, he can win. Like in this match, Morten have Barbarian, not Log, which means he only can take guaranteed damage from Fireball. Between Sorry Go Home can cycle many Log in single and double, and Fireball his cycle every time that Morten get the Fireball damage, and if he defend perfect enough, he will be able to win this game. And see you guys in the next one. If you are one trick graveyard cycle and you miss it, you have this graveyard deck. This might be not the best, but it's the same concept. This deck has been get a lot of nerfs from the Eva Furnace, Barbarian, even the graveyard. The Skeleton gets a nerf, the Hut, the Ice Spirit, but still can be playable. And if you are good enough with it and patient enough, you can get so high with it. The graveyard and the minor decks is most likely the most patient decks that you need to play with, because if you played any kind of aggressive like graveyard poison in single, you will most likely get wrecked by the counter push. Same for the minor, you need perfect defense and good offense. I don't think this deck is that skill, but since graveyard is dead, people didn't like making a counter for the graveyard, which make the graveyard good again. Because when graveyard was meta, people was using Mother Witch with just spam decks and a lot of like Electro Spirit and Goblin Guard, something like that, a counter for graveyard. But since graveyard is dead, you might make a counter for this meta with this. I don't think this deck is that bad, but it's not can for sure be the best one in this meta. I actually really enjoyed Graveyard Cycle deck. I don't know if this is even a cycle one, but I'm gonna be so happy if I get the Hero Knight soon and play with it. There is some combos with Hero Knight with Graveyard, which if like some card is looking on the graveyard, you can activate the ability and the cards will go to your Hero Knight and the graveyard will focus on the tower. I don't really understand the Evo Furnace nerf. I think it's pretty much the same, but since like Vine come to the game, people start using Witch instead of Evo Furnace for some reason, I don't know. I won't keep you long, so we are moving for the next deck. For the minor cover deck, we have this minor rocket deck. Most likely Mohammed will use it in the season end, this or the minor poison one, which will require the hero mask. I will put it in top 10 best decks in the hero mask video. Hero mask most likely having Knight as the best combo, so that video will be about two heroes in the same decks, but Hero Knight can fit in some decks alone, so this video might be good for you if you get the Hero Knight in the lucky box. Little Brain, some people say it's the worst champion, and most likely I agree, but if we won't look at him as a card, he is one of the lowest and broken skill card in the game. If your opponent don't have a way to get him out and he have like giant, electro giant, something like that, he will get a lot of value, and the ability can be so broken sometimes, like you have extra Knight, you can respawn it whenever you want. So as you see in this giant graveyard match, my little brains get a lot of value. My opponent don't have a real reset for it, only like snowball, which he needed for like kill the skeleton in the graveyard. So my little brains can be so useful. I don't even think after I get the activation this match is bad anymore. The only scenario can be this match is bad is if I didn't get an evolution, the activation, and my opponent make a really good attack, like just giant graveyard, because any other support card I will have a rocket value on his tower. My opponent not playing the best, but he can win anytime if I like over comment, but since I have the King 2 activation and my evos in hand, and I'm backing for my evos really fast, I can play aggressive and mine rocket as much as I can. I don't think he can win from this point, so I'm gonna cut the video and moving on for the second and last match. For the next and last match of the day, we have this lava deck. One of the dumbest win condition in the entire game, and most likely we're hoping someday Clash Royale will delete it. But since the meta are really bad for the lava, we most likely will not see a lot of it. Anyway, after Vine get a buff, Vine back to the meta, if we want to say. And also Hero Knight make lava a bit better, so right now you can use Hero Knight with it. One for like a tank, and second for like a combos to lava and balloon, all that stuff. And we also has to air counter, which is Inferno Dragon, Skeleton Dragon, as we know. Lava decks always have 4 air cards and 2 crowned cards and 2 spells. This is the most likely the classic lava decks. You can use Tombstone instead of cards, but guards is a bit easier to use, so you can use it. And also you can beat like Daryl deck if your opponent play good enough with guards, but you can beat him if he play with Tombstone. So Tombstone is a building which can make him better against Hoggies, Hog, Electro Giant, maybe even RG, but guards can work better with in the meta sometimes, so you are free to choose which one you are prefer. This is what we all have for this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.